have a review video for you guys today. The products I'm going to show you were sent to me through Influenster. So that's different than getting them sent to you like direct from a company or whatever. Influencer is something that anybody can join if you are involved in social media at all. I'm sure you've heard about this I'm sure you have heard this talked about by many people, so I won't go into it too much. But I just want to make sure you understand that I don't have to review these products on my channel. They ask for a review like on Sephora or whatever, but you don't have to do what I'm doing with these products. But so many of you guys did want to see this when I asked about it in my original sort of haul video that I did with my Sephora Playbox, that I wanted to go ahead and do that for you. All right, that was a really long intro. Let's just get into it. So there were 4 things in this: concealer, a powder, and then 2 brushes. And there were 2 shades of concealer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut to me applying the concealer, and then we'll come back and talk about how it performs. All right, so here's some up close swatches. This is the L3 Warm, and that's the L5 Neutral. And I really have liked, interestingly enough, I would have thought that the 3, because of the number, is what I would have liked, but I really prefer the neutral one. So I'm just going to try to think how the best way to do this is. I'm just going to, dot it over here. And I will show you using it with the brush first, and then I'll show you using it with the Beauty Blender. So I really do think this is a unique brush, but I don't know. Again, I feel like it would work better up here than it would work, or than it works down here. It's just kind of a funny shape if it's meant to be, used beneath your lower lash line. You can really get up under here, but I don't generally go all that far up. But all right, so that is it with the brush. We're gonna dot over here as well. I'm just gonna take the Beauty Junkies beauty sponge. This is the black one. I love this. And this is there's 2 sides, the flat side and then this side. I do already have foundation on. And I guess a lot of people go way more crazy with their with their concealer than that. I don't, and I don't do any sort of baking thing. So as you can see, it's so funny. I just did that like out of habit, because I just, if I'm going to use this concealer, I really have to use it with a beauty blender, or I don't love the finish of it at all. All right, so I'm going to zoom you in really closely so I can show you fine lines up here and fine lines up here. All right, so this is no setting powder, and I'm sorry if it looks like I'm looking that way, but I need to look so I don't poke myself. So this side is the Beauty Blender side, and this side where you can see all of that is the brush side. So let's just do a little closer look at the brush, which is one of the products that came in there, and this is the number 40 brush, and it has this, it comes to a very sort of chiseled point. It's called the Locket Edge Concealer Brush. So it's, it's definitely cut like at an angle here and an angle there, so it does come to a chiseled point. I don't necessarily understand. It's not a bad brush. The brush in itself is synthetic, much like the other one that I'll talk about. It comes to a little point. It's feels nice in the hand. So there's nothing wrong with the construction of the brush. I just don't necessarily understand it. I think I could see it more for a concealer shade that I would use, not under my eyes, but maybe on my face, and maybe kind of get in around your nose and that sort of thing. You could definitely do very precise sort of chiseled contouring with cream products with this, I think. Like if you really wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Down your nose. So I think there are uses for it. And I'm not saying they're saying this has to be used underneath your eyes, but I think that was what the intention was. So I like the brush. I just don't think this brush is a must-have. I don't know that I will reach for this brush very often. So back to the concealer. The concealer sells for $26 on Sephora's website, and there are 21 shades of them. And again, I have L5 and L3. You really have to look at the website because even on the box, and I apologize, I tossed the boxes and I meant to show them, the color on the bottom of the box doesn't really match anywhere near, not that it has to, but you'd think it'd be a little closer. It was completely off. I remember when I hauled it, I was like, oh, this is going to be really dark, and it wasn't at all. Then that was the L5. So you really have to take a look. I think swatching in store is going to be pretty necessary, or looking at a lot of swatches online to really find the one that's going to work for you. But of the two, the L5 neutral worked better for me than the L3 warm. So while this wears very well, it is cakey as all get out. And I have, you know, I have dry under eyes, but I keep them well moisturized with good eye cream and that sort of thing. And this just really accentuated the lines, and hopefully you guys saw it. So it definitely blends out better for me and looks better when I use it with a beauty sponge like this, you know, versus with the brush. I've tried it with my e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush as well. It's just cakey. There's just no two ways about it. It is cakey, even if you thin it out. And I've already had to go in, particularly on this side, because I didn't originally use the beauty sponge, and take kind of my Q-tip trick and go into my little fine lines and pull it out. It does wear a long time. It doesn't disappear, so I will say that for it. But I'm telling you what, if you set it with the next product I'm going to talk about, it is cake city. It's not good. So let's move into that. I want to say, I forgot to mention, this brush sells for $24. So the next product that they sent was the Lock-It setting powder in the shade Translucent, and I was just looking. Yep, that is the only shade that they have it in. This product sells for $30. I don't have this on my face yet. I wanted to put it on camera. I don't know that you'll necessarily be able to see anything, but I wanted to at least, you know, apply, not under my eyes, so I'm not making that mistake again. So this doesn't have a little sifter, it just has a you know, like your normal sort of pull back thing. And I just pulled back a little bit and cut off just a tiny bit so I wouldn't get so much. It's a very smooth powder. I don't know how much me showing you is going to help anything, but sometimes you can see a little bit better. So there's what it looks like. Sorry, I was swatching earlier. And it does really blend out. Now, I've had a couple of people, and I have looked and looked and looked, say something about glitter, and I just don't see glitter in this at all. It says that this has micro blurring technology. I don't know about all that. The brush that it came with is the number 20 brush, which is the setting powder brush. I think is the actual name of it as well. And I'm just going to put a little bit on that, tap it off, of course. And this brush just has so much give. I really do like this brush. And we're just going to put a little bit on here. And I've been using it at the end, you know, when I'm done, obviously when I'm done with all of my makeup. So there's what it looks like. I don't necessarily know that I see any difference. I don't see any blurring. I mean, a little bit. I don't find it to be miraculous. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't give that sort of really nicely blurred finish like the Hourglass powders do. It is a nice setting powder, and it does definitely set. You know, it does help longevity of your foundation. And I don't find that this makes it cakey at all. With the exception of you putting it beneath your eyes. As you will notice, I steered clear of my eyeball. Because if you use this, even with this brush that it came with underneath your eyes, for me anyway, it's just, it's not good. When you look up close, you don't even have to be all that up close. You can just, you know what I mean, when it's really cakey and it's like you're concealing your powder or having a little party and it's not one you were invited to, and it's just not good. I do really like the powder. It's not miraculous or anything. There's a lot of product in here though. I just put the cover on, take a look. It's 19 ounces of product. But I have to say, of all of the four products, so the two brushes and the concealer and the powder, the winner for me is this brush. And this is not a brush that I would use just for setting powder. I have used it already for bronzer. I have used it for blush. It's one of those kind of brushes you can use for everything. The only thing I will say is I've washed this 3 times now, and I have had a couple little hairs come out, and I'm surprised. You see, I just pulled another one. Just gently using it, I pulled another one out. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. We'll have to see how it goes. I mean, sometimes that happens. I expect new brush. I'm not sure why I'm leaning like this so you can really see the brush. I expect new brushes to shed a little bit on me for the first, you know, kind of month or two, because it just kind of happens. But yeah, see, there's another one that I just pulled out. I don't know. So I really hope that that is just, like I said, normal kind of new brush shedding, and then it doesn't continue. But I do really like this. Brush sells for $38 though. I don't know about that. I had the choice between the Goss brush, which I can't remember how much this one is now off the top of my head. I feel like it was a little bit more than that, but I just feel like the quality. This one actually, believe it or not, feels a little bit softer than the Goss brush, but then this is the Gosh 00 brush. But they are similar, and I would take this any day over this. I hope that that was helpful, and that was the information that you guys that wanted this video were looking for. On the rest of my face today, the foundation that I have on, I'm testing this, and we'll have a video up shortly, hopefully in collab with my friend Kristin. The L'Oreal 24-Hour Infallible Pro Glow, and I have that in the shade 202. On my cheeks, I have the Marc Jacobs blush in Lines and Last Night. And on my eyes, I pulled out the Too Faced Peach palette. And on my lips, do you want to know what shades? That'd probably be helpful. I just have Bellini, Georgia, and Charmed, I'm sure. So Bellini, which is right here, Georgia, and Charmed, I'm sure. And then on my lips, I have the Makeup Forever lip liner in 3C, which looks like that. And I have MAC Kinda Sexy. I just put up that video where I asked everybody what their favorite nudes were, and somebody mentioned this, and I was like, I should pull that out. And then over the top of that, I have my Cam Cosmetics Lip Lava in Tryst. And I think that that is everything. So thank you again for watching. Again, I really hope that this was helpful to you. And in everything that you do, be beautiful. Bye!